everybody. Do not adjust the color on your computer or your screen or whatever the heck you use to watch this. I am a little sunburned from the beach trip. It's fine. Um, really not sunburned on my face, but I am a little pinker than I was. We got down to Myrtle Beach. We go down to Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach in Cherry Grove, and they were having a heat advisory and unusually high temperature, so we only wound up at the beach, like on the beach proper, for 2 hours. And it's like, seriously, all this way. We were 3 hours late leaving on Friday, so we didn't get there until almost 3 o'clock. And then we schlepped all of our stuff down to the beach, me and my bum foot, like hobbling along in the sand. And if you think that walking in the sand is difficult normally, add a bum foot to that, and oh my gosh, it was terrible. When we get all down there, we set up, that's a process. The wind is just whipping. I've got this crappy little $5 the plastic fabric umbrella from Five Below, and it's just like the worst, the worst umbrella. And it's like, I cannot get it to go up and stay up. It just goes bloop. And so thankfully it didn't break it. It just kind of goes bloop because it's, it's cheap. So it's like, well, that was a good thing. But anyway, we get down there, we get set up. Natty's playing in the sand happily. Like, Brooks is in the ocean. I'm kind of like, oh, this is so nice. I wish the wind wasn't blowing so hard. And I look over, and there's these like massively dark storm clouds. And I'm like, so I get on my phone, and of course, like, then it starts beeping and going off saying there's a storm coming. I see lifeguards running up and down the beach, yelling at people to get out of the water. And I'm just like, that I've never seen at the beach. So like, we gotta go. Now he was so disappointed. We lasted like 5 minutes down there. It took longer to set up than we were actually playing or enjoying the beach. Like, we enjoyed the beach for 5 minutes. And I'm like, seriously. So then we get all the way back up to our hotel room, which is on the beach, but still, like, again, it's a process trying to get me and my foot to cooperate. And so we get back to the room, and my daughter is sad and upset. My husband's upset. Like, I'm bummed out. It's just like, really? And then the stupid storm goes around us. I was so annoyed. I'm just like, really? Really? And my daughter's like, can we go back down there? And it's like, we had a good time. We made the most of it. Like, during a heat wave, it's hard to be out there. It's just, you're just dripping sweat. It's just frustrating. So anyway, all that to say, hoping for another beach trip maybe in late September or early October when it's a little bit cooler and not, crazy 107 heat index. So that would be better. So anyway, back to art. Yay! I'm loving being back in the studio with y'all and sharing and doing and arting and doing all the things. So this week I have an art kit that I found at this really amazing toy store that I took Natty to a couple days after her birthday. It was right next door to Build-A-Bear, which she got a Build-A-Bear cinema roll for her birthday. So we went to stuff him and dress him and all the things. So this little art kit, it's a wooden bloom craft. It says, spend some time for love and flowers to indulge in a cozy and leisurely life. Spend some time for love and flowers. Yeah. And so it's a little wooden sunflower, and it's supposed to have all of the stuff you need to build it. So I thought, okay, well, this one would be fun because I'm coming up with some other ideas, but they're kind of a little bit longer. So I'm going to have to do filming for next week's video this week. So this one will be hopefully short and sweet. And that way I can do a really fun, I'm looking for my tools, a really fun video for next week. So let me get my X-Acto knife and we'll get started. All right, so here we go. We're off to the races. I've never made one of these kits before, and like I said, I guess I didn't say, I do wish that they had one of these put together so I could have seen the quality of it. It was more just curiosity's sake than anything. There was another kit, but it was like a paper card almost, those three-dimensional cards that you can buy and they pop up and they're amazing. It was very similar to that, and it was from a different company, so it wasn't the same. But I decided to get the wooden one because I thought, well, that'll last a little bit longer, right? So that was my theory. So here we are. Trying to get all the little doohickeys out. They give you some double-sided stickums, those little orange dots, but they don't really tell you what to do with it. The instructions are, I think they're like Dutch, maybe. Like the first language is Dutch, I think. They try to English it. They try to translate to English, but some of the things are really very odd in their in the description. So that just made me laugh. I'm not one for typically reading instructions on things, and as I start to pop these things out, I was like, oh gosh, they're actually numbered, so I put them back because you need to know what number they are, and they're not numbered on the actual doohickey that you pop out. They're numbered next to it, and it is kind of involved. Like there's a lot of little pieces, and actually I wind up cracking these little things, these little yellow doohickeys, because I'm putting them in the wrong way. Like, kept trying to get them to go, and I wound up cracking the little tips off of several of them. So, FYI, make sure you got them going the right direction if you buy one of these kits. I think it was more of like just a visually, I didn't see it, like I misinterpreted them, because the instructions are very small, and you know, I don't have the best of eyesight anymore. So, here I am reading the instructions to you, because that's helpful. Yeah. So, this winds up being the center of the flower, and you watch me struggle with this thing for a while. I'm kind of sad to say, longer than probably necessary in life, but that's just where we're at. So, it came together fine. Get your head out of the shot, good lord. I didn't even have it like zoomed in very well. I do apologize for that. I probably should have zoomed a little bit further. Hello, hair. It's fine, right? Like, who's watching this? I don't know. Not very many people. I do wish I had a bigger audience. So if you are enjoying my videos, even if it is to just sit and laugh at somebody because they're being ridiculous, share them, like them, subscribe to them, because that helps me grow. So that is my selfless ploy, my selfless plug for today. Please and thanks. All right, as we were. And now I finally figure out, oh, they're going the wrong way. Like, good grief. It's fine. I think if I was gonna go do this again, I might have a little blob of wood glue just to make sure everything is staying together. These little yellow petals, when I get them going, they don't want to stay in, which is really frustrating. Oh, good lord. We get a great look at the bun. I'm sorry, folks. Like, is my throat going? I don't know. Yeah, this was fun. I mean, these little kits I think are really fabulous. Some of them are great, and then others. Did I post that eraser one? Because that was a hot mess. I did. My daughter thought they were fabulous. I was like, okay, well, you have fun with that, because I'm out. But you know, she's 9, so I have a higher standard of quality when it comes to art kits. Eraser art kit was total trash. Would not recommend. And which I'm disappointed, because it is a klutz, and I remember as a child those were always the top-notch ones, but then again, maybe that's, what are you doing, taking it all apart? But like, I don't know. Oh, I think that's what I was trying to do. Trying to get this thing to snap together, and it was like, didn't want to break it. I will say, these little wood pieces are very thin, so if you push down too hard, you're gonna break them. And that was a warning on the instructions, like, you know, don't pressure, I think is what it said. And I was like, okay. So you don't put too much pressure on them, because they will crack, they will split. I mean, it's very thin pressed wood, so. And I'm just trying to sand off little edges. You can see the little bits that I've broken off the tips of those other things that were the first pieces to put in there, off in the side. I was gonna actually glue those back together, but then at the end I realized that's not necessary, and I have to take this whole thing apart. So let's not. We're moving on. It's fine. So there's my little flower. So that was exciting. And here's all the leaves and stems. But yeah, like lots and lots of teeny tiny little pieces. Teensy tiny pieces. Gotta click them all together. Make sure they're all put together correctly, or it won't go together. It's kind of like that one Christmas light where it goes out the whole string, you lose the whole string. So you have one piece that isn't put together properly, this thing is not going to go together, is my theory. Now I don't know that for sure since I did put it together correctly, but I made sure that I was very careful with directions. And again, I'm not huge on directions. I don't enjoy reading them. I mean, who enjoys reading directions? It's just terrible. When I was 9, actually, when I was my daughter's age, our house had burned down when I was a kid. And so when we moved into the new house, we had to furnish the whole place. And so we got these big, giant entertainment centers, one for the living room, and I can't remember where the other one went, or was. Anyway, I can't remember where the other one went, but we had 2 of them, and so I put the first one together by looking at the pictures, and my mom was so astounded. She's like, seriously? Because she's like, well, hang on, let me see. And we didn't have a whole lot of tools. It was a screwdriver and a hammer, and that's all we needed, and that's all I used. And at 9, the only thing I needed help with was getting it up on its feet, because, it was massive. It took up the whole room. Do you guys remember those big, massive things? They were huge. Like cabinets all around it. There's a hole for your TV, cabinets underneath, all these shelves. So yeah, that was sort of my first look into really engineering, I guess, besides Legos, which were my favorite toy on the planet. Who loves Legos? I love Legos. They're my favorite. And then as I got older, I got into miniatures and dollhouses. My grandmother bought me a dollhouse when I was like 13 for Christmas and thought, oh, well, this is going to keep her busy for a little bit. But my brother-in-law and I had it built before dinner that day. And she was like, for real. And my brother-in-law swears up and down all he did was hold walls while it dried. I did everything else. I don't remember it quite like that. I thought he helped a little bit more than that, but maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, like I used to love to just tear that thing apart down to the studs and rearrange it and revamp it and give it makeovers and change the wallpaper out in the kitchen, and I'd redo the kitchen. Like it was very much like I didn't have dolls for it. It was very much a love of decor and what do you call it? Like home decorating and stuff like that. Like I had really cool stuff for my dollhouse. I had this really beautiful slice of agate that was the coffee table, and I would find little bits of things and make teensy tiny little things out of clay. And so when I got a dollhouse for my daughter, I really just reveled in the fact that I got to live through and do all that stuff again for her. So I built it. She's always like, come play with me. I was like, mommy builds the stuff. I don't like to play with the stuff. I like to build it. Like, let me rejudge your house. That'll be fun. Not to say that I don't play with my daughter, because of course I do. She's adorable. But there are some things that I'm better at, and that's building and making than, I don't know, playing with dolls with her, I guess. She is very particular about her little dolls, and she does very much have only child syndrome because she's the only kid in the house. So there's that. But she's very funny too, because like her friends across the street will come over, and her best friend has a little sister who just turned 5 in May, and she's so cute, and she's definitely sassy, and I absolutely adore that about this kid, because she's got an older brother and an older sister, and all of her friends, a lot of her friends are older, so she's gotta have it, right? The kid got Maxie. And so when they come over and she's like, Natty, can I hold one of your dolls, or can I hold this doll or that doll? And Natty's like, oh, no, you can't hold her. Your hands are dirty, and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, dude, back off. Like, it's a doll. Like, you need to relax. And Natty's like, but those are my babies, and those are my children. And like, she really gets very much into this level of pretend. So I don't really like to mess with that all that much. So I let her do her thing. Anyway, I like to build. That's what I'm getting at. And we're still fussing around with these pieces. So this little brown part is actually cardstock. And I found that while this big piece comes out really beautifully and cleanly, everything else was very finicky and fussy. So you had to be really careful in pulling those bits out, just because of the way they were laser cut. Like, you know, it's paper. Paper's gonna rip if you're not careful, so you just have to be real careful and slow. And this was kind of a process, trying to get this little cardboard thing into the grooves and into the holes and into the little lips of things and wrap it around and then get it all together. This was kind of probably where I was like, okay, do I really need this thing around this? Like, this is dumb. But it really does make it all so pretty and lovely. So this part probably I hated the most. But the rest of the kit I thought was fabulous. So if this is the one part that I struggled with, I'm okay with that. Like, any of these art kits, you're gonna have some struggly bus part. And then boom, we pop to it being finished. Not because like I cut that out, but because my daughter burst through the door and I had to cut that out. So that's fine. Kids burst. So these little parts, I don't know, I thought this one, it was just a little wrap around the pot, which, you know, adds some flair. Was it necessary in my eye? No, not really. Was the little cutout bees and stuff necessary? No, not really. I mean, it's cute, but I don't... For me, we'll get there. For me, I felt like the parts that were actually supposed to go in the flower were too big. Because, you know, sunflowers are massive. Granted, potted sunflowers are a lot smaller, so there is that. So, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to, like, let my brain just be in this imaginary little world where we have, you know, teeny tiny sunflowers and giant, great big bugs. But, I know too much, man. I can't go back. Like, I garden, so, I couldn't go back. I had to use the smaller bugs. And then I gave the rest of the big bugs to my daughter, and she was very excited about them. They're still downstairs on her desk because she was so excited. Woo! These little tiny bits of pieces, oh my gosh, trying to get them. These were for the little tiny sunflowers. They were like little tiny sunflower, almost blossoms, if you will. That part was cute, but it was like, oh, good grief. Oh, this is the little stand for it, my bad. This part was fine. It was hard to get it in. Like, I think you should have put this part, this little ring part, in before you put the pot together. But then, I don't know, maybe it is easier to put it together after the pot is on, and maybe it's too hard to put the pot on it with that thing sticking out. I really don't know. We haven't gotten that far because I didn't do it the wrong way. I did it the right way. I went with the directions. So we'll see. If somebody does this kit and doesn't follow the directions and does it the other way, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your experience with this. I feel like overall I thought this was a pretty decent kit, really. In comparison to the art kits out in the world, I give it a 10 out of 10, really. So that's my opinion. Alright, so right here I'm trying to figure out what all the teeny tiny little pieces are for. And actually, this kit winds up giving me a lot of extra pieces that I truly, even now, don't know what to do with. So I wind up just tossing them because I'm like, I'm not going to hold on to this. These are randomly shaped bits that I can't really use anywhere else. And I mean, not to my knowledge. I mean, maybe I could have used them for something, but like, I don't use wood like that. And it's not, I don't know, there was like 3 pieces that I could have used for something, I guess. But at any rate, so here's the teensy little sunflowers. There's only 3 stems for them, which I was confused. But I wound up getting the little stickums and sticking them on later with some those tweezers and just sticking them on the side so they're like a double blossom. So I thought that was cute, and that was alright. So, as far as kits go, I will say that this is probably a 10 out of 10 art kit. I highly recommend. I would absolutely buy something from them again. Their name is Rowood Handscraft. So I wish it had some more information on it. Rowood is ROWOOD. So you could probably look them up. Some art kits are definitely not worth the money. For $10, I was wildly happy about how this turned out and very pleasantly surprised at how easy it was. There are, little fiddly bits, of course, but that's with any art kit. I mean, the erasers were a flippin' nightmare. And there's a pottery wheel that's floating around. Mariah Elizabeth actually just did another video on it to see if it had improved. The clay is about the only thing that improved. For me, I won't ever buy that kit. I had one when I was a kid, and it was a nightmare. Because it's battery powered, you can't put any pressure on the clay itself to center it. And now they give you the dinkiest little tools to open your clay with, like for a bowl or a pot. It's like, I don't understand that. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't read ease of use, especially for like little kids who are supposed to be, trying these things out to see if they like it. I mean, if you're interested in clay, buy some DOS air dry clay, and go at it. Like, that's my recommendation. So, anywho, here's my little sunflower, trying to put the little bugs in it. There it is, all finished. Again, 10 out of 10. I thought this was adorable. It was good quality for what it was for $10. It'll last a long time, so I'm excited about that. So until next time, friends, I hope you all have a nice weekend. I'm suddenly stopping, but put something out in the universe that's beautiful, and I will see you next week. Bye!